Alright, let's dive into this because it's a story that's got layers, drama, redemption, and a whole lot of golf. So, Leona Maguire just made the Solheim Cup team again, and if you're thinking, big deal, she's a pro golfer, hold up. This isn't just another roster spot. It's a wildcard pick, and it comes after a year that, let's be honest, hasn't been her best. Personally, I think this is where sports get fascinating, when athletes are at a crossroads, and their selection feels more like a gamble than a sure bet. What makes this really interesting is that Maguire isn't just any golfer, she's someone who was once tipped for greatness, but 2026 has been, well, underwhelming. Missed cuts, a world ranking that slipped to 83rd, these aren't the stats you expect from a Solheim Cup contender. But here's the thing, Anna Nordqvist, the European captain, didn't just pick her out of nostalgia. In my opinion, Nordqvist saw something beyond the numbers, experience, grit, and a history of delivering under pressure. Maguire's match play record is solid, and her past Solheim Cup performances? 8.5 points out of 12 matches. That's not luck, that's skill. What many people don't realize is that team events like the Solheim Cup aren't just about individual talent, they're about chemistry, strategy, and the ability to rise when your team needs you most. And Maguire has proven she can do that. Now, let's talk about the controversy because, let's face it, it's impossible to ignore. Back in 2024, Maguire had a public fallout with then-captain Suzann Pettersen over her limited playtime. That had to sting, right? But here's where it gets intriguing. Instead of letting that sour her relationship with the event, Maguire doubled down on her love for the Solheim Cup. She said it brings out the best in her game, and honestly, I think that's a testament to her mental toughness. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about golf, it's about resilience, about proving that setbacks don't define you. Now, let's talk about the rookies because they're a big part of this story too. Julia López Ramirez, Nastasia Nadaud, and Mimi Rhodes, these names might not ring a bell yet, but they're the future of European golf. Ramirez is living her dream, Nadaud's got a win under her belt, and Rhodes? She was the Let's Rookie of the Year in 2025. What this really suggests is that Nordqvist isn't just banking on experience, she's investing in potential. And that's a bold move, especially when you're up against a powerhouse like the US team. Speaking of the US, Angeline and Jennifer Kupcho just secured their spots, and Nelly Korda's already in. But here's a detail I find fascinating, the US captain, Angela Stanford, still has 3 picks to make. That means there's still room for surprises, and in a sport where momentum can shift in an instant, that's huge. Back to Europe, though, because I can't shake the feeling that this team is a mix of old and new, proven and unproven. Charley Hull, Esther Henseleit, Lynn Grant, these are names that inspire confidence. But Henseleit's recent playoff loss at the Women's Open? That's a reminder that even the best can have off days. Her drive hitting a Marshall's leg and landing in a gorse bush, that's the kind of unpredictability that makes golf so compelling. It's not just about skill, it's about luck, timing, and how you handle the unexpected. This raises a deeper question, what does it take to win a Solheim Cup? Is it raw talent, team cohesion, or something intangible? Personally, I think it's all of the above. And that's why this year's event feels so unpredictable. Europe's got a mix of veterans and rookies, the US has firepower, and both teams are hungry. So, as we head into the tournament next month, here's my closing thought, watch Leona Maguire. Not just because she's a wildcard pick, but because she's a player with something to prove. And in sports, there's nothing more dangerous than an athlete with a point to make. What do you think? Is Maguire's selection a risk worth taking, or should Nordqvist have gone with someone more consistent? Let me know in the comments, I'm curious to hear your take.